Hello, world. Your favorite podcast host, Anthony Diaz, here with another episode of 50 States of Terror. I am in my car again. Excuse me. It's just there's too much going on inside the house, and I have class at 8 o'clock. My desk is prepared for class, so like all of my books, my notes, my recording equipment, my mic, all that stuff is there for class. So I figured, why not test out my brand new Rode Video Mic MEC Plus? Yep. I haven't had a chance to test it out yet. So this is the inaugural testing of this new audio, man. I'm excited. This thing looks cool. It plugs right into the phone. It has a USB-C plug right into it. It connects right into the Rode software that's on the phone, the Rode Connect stuff, and man, it's just dope. I like it. I do have the wind guard on it, the furry whatever. That's so I don't know if it's gonna hinder any audio, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, man. I trust Rode. I get my Rode USB mic, pod mic back tomorrow from it being repaired. There was an issue with that mic, and apparently there are issues with that mic in general. It's not the regular pod mic, like the silver one. It's the black one. It's the USB pod mic that has a USB and an XLR output on it. And I bought it a while back and I wanted to use it with my Rode Streamer X because honestly, I'm just trying to ease my way out of condenser mics and going to more dynamic mics, primarily because of just what I really want to accomplish in recording. So instead of dealing with background noise and everything that goes on with a condenser mic, I had the mic already available, plugged it in, and it wasn't working. And if you remember from different episodes, I submitted it for a warranty claim. Rode has been amazing. So Rode's the shit. I don't know if they are other types of companies that do mobile recording like Rode does, but I got the wireless pros. I got now I have the video mic MEC Plus. I have the NT mic that connects to USB, so I use that sometimes. So my Rode collection of recording equipment is starting to get a little more robust, and I personally 100% will back Rode. I will probably get Rode over other products now because of just the way I like the way they sound. I like the ease of connection. I like everything about it. I don't really know if like other companies have the same catalog. Like, sure, I know down the road when I have the money and when I have the studio space, I do eventually want to get the Shure SMB7, I think it is. It's like the gold standard of mics to have for a studio. But right now, man, Rode is just where it's at. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything like Beacon doesn't. I haven't seen anything from Beacon. I haven't seen anything from Shure that has all of this type of stuff. But then again, I haven't really looked out for different companies. I primarily am just narrow focused on getting Rode because Rode is really, really good. The customer service is awesome. And hey, Rode, if you want a small time, content creator to promote your stuff, man, I'm your guy. But yeah. What else is going on? Midterms for grad school. One exam, my prob and stats class. I bombed the test, man. And I was fairly confident going in. I thought I knew what I was doing, but man, I bombed it bad. I don't know where I sit currently because I haven't done the math yet. I haven't done, what my points are versus how many points available. I was sitting at a high C, but now I think I'm below that threshold. But it's okay because I can get points back with homework. Because with homework, you have time and you have people to help you, and you can try to understand the content more, and you can try your best to get as much points as possible to boost up your overall grade. But that exam kicked my ass, and apparently I wasn't alone. There are other people in my cohort that expressed their same concern about how hard that test was, man. It was and again, like, I felt really confident going in, but damn, it kicked my ass. It kicked my ass. The job hunt. I am still looking for a full-time job. I'm still part-time with the university. I'm trying to find full-time work. I need full-time work. My health insurance has already lapsed. The 31 days after my termination date, it's gone. No health insurance, no vision, no dental. And I'm just trying to find full-time work. I am confident and hopeful that something will happen on the job front soon. But until then, all I can do is just keep on applying and keep on going to my part-time job, trying to put food on the table, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So hopefully things will pan out. Man. But I'm hopeful that my writing will help bring some money in, and you can go to my page, vocal.media, and look for my name, Anthony Diaz. Every click, every read I get gets one penny, 1 cent. So if you like what you read, share it and help a brother out. Maybe I'll get $1. And if I get $1, that's $1 more than I didn't have. Hopefully I can get some sponsorships for the show. Hopefully I can get some revenue coming in and help pay for grad school too. So, but yeah, I'm chugging along, trying to keep my spirits up. You know what I'm saying? And all I can do is try to make the best of everything and keep a positive attitude, because everything else in the world looks like shit. But I'm here doing my best. Pretty comical too. My setup right now, the way this is set up, it's the microphone. Again, it's the USB-C is plugged into the phone, but I need my next upgrade for this type of stuff would probably be a new gimbal, a new phone stand or something. But I have it propped up next to an umbrella to wedge it so it stays in place. Hey, if it works, it works, man. If it works, it works. But hey, guess what? Notes. Washington. I did something new. I didn't do much of the research. I outsourced the research. I had a message come through, and someone was saying that, hey, like, I can do some research for you. Down on their luck, and like, hey, $20, I'll do research for you. So that's what I did. Helped out a fellow content creator who was just looking to make some money, and reached out. I don't know where they're from. I forgot. I didn't ask where they're from, but it was I went through Fiverr, and if you don't know what Fiverr is, it is a place where people can just like put their stuff out to get some odd jobs, whether it's like editing or writing or recording or what have you. So paid them, and they gave me a Word doc with all this with some information, and we're gonna go with it. I didn't have a chance to read it over. I've been swamped with so much extra stuff, especially with grad school. Grad school takes so much of my time. But like I said in previous episodes, if you want things done, you have to carve out time. Carve out time management, man. It's needed. You can't just sit around and think, oh, you know what? I'll time will magically appear. Like, it doesn't work like that, dude. You seriously have to carve out time to make shit work. So here we go. I am doing Washington State. Let's start with some bullet points here. So go with the land before the Europeans, pre-1700. Let's get this rolling. Let's get this started. And I apologize if the video is like shaking a little bit, because of the gimbal, and it's old. It's propped up, so every little shake is probably going to shake the camera. Hopefully we'll take care of that in post, but I'll figure out a way to take care of it in post. If not, then I'm sorry. It's gonna be a little shaky. Let's see. The land before Europeans, pre-1700s. Before European contact, the area that is now Washington was home to diverse indigenous peoples for thousands of years. The coastal tribes, such as the Maka, the Quiliti, the Chinook, and the Coast Salish, thrived on fishing, whaling, and trade along Puget Sound and the Pacific coast. Plateau tribes, such as the Yakama, the Spokane, and the Nez Perce, lived inland, hunting, gathering, and trading across the Columbia Plateau. Complex trade networks existed long before European arrived, and languages like Chinook jargon developed as regional trade tongues. And if you know geography, Washington State lives on the western part of Canada, going towards Alaska. So that is the geographical area that we're talking about. European exploration, 1700s to early 1800s, 1775 to 1778, Spanish and British explorers, including Bruno de Hecta, Spain, and Captain James Cook, Britain, mapped this coast. And I do believe there is some, not conspiracy, but contradicting information about who exactly from Spain was the first one to map the coast. But we're going to go here with Bruno de Hecta, 1792. Captain George Vancouver explored and named many Puget Sound landmarks. Examples include Mount Rainier and Puget Sound itself. 1805 to 1806, Lewis and Clark reached the mouth of the Columbia River, marking the U.S. claim to the area. 1811, David Thompson of the Northwest Company established trading posts, reinforcing British presence. The fur trade and territorial disputes of 1810s and 1840s. The area became part of the Oregon Country, claimed jointly by Britain and the United States. The Hudson Bay Company, the HBC, and British enterprise dominated the fur trade from Fort Vancouver, modern Vancouver, West Virginia, Washington. What am I doing West Virginia for? Dr. John McClellan of the HBC managed the region effectively as a de facto governor. American settlers began arriving via the Oregon Trail in the 1840s, intensifying U.S. interest. Now we're going into becoming the American countrysides. 1846 to 1899. 1846, the Oregon Treaty became the U.S. and Britain set the border at the 49th parallel. This is where the border is between the United States and Canada, placing modern Washington within the U.S. territory. 1853, the Washington Territory was carved from the northern part of the Oregon Territory, which was named after George Washington, the only state named for a U.S. president, because Thus far, they've all been named after indigenous tribes or indigenous words. Huh. Interesting, huh? 1850s. Conflicts like the Puget Sound War and the Yakima War occurred as settlers expanded into tribal lands. 1889. Washington was admitted to the Union as the 42nd state on November 11th, 1889. Veterans Day, 1889. Growth and industry in the 1890s to 1945. The arrival of the Northern Pacific Railroad and later the Great Northern Railway connected Washington to national markets. Oh, excuse me. Seattle became a booming port city, especially after the 1897 Klondike Gold Rush, which made it a gateway to Alaska. Oh, man. Logging, fishing, and agriculture, especially apples, wheat, and hops, fueled the economy. During World War II, shipyards in Seattle and aircraft production like Boeing turned Washington into a key industrial hub. The post-war transformation, 1945 to 1900s, Boeing continued to dominate the economy, making Washington synonymous with aviation and aerospace innovation. The construction of the Grand Coulee Dam and other hydroelectric projects transformed the Columbia River Basin, providing power and irrigation, but displacing indigenous communities. This is where we start to see like the pushing of indigenous tribes, indigenous peoples out. In 1962, Seattle World's Fair Century 21 exposition symbolized Washington's emergence as a center of science and technology. The Space Needle remains its icon. Environmental awareness grew with leaders like Senator Henry Scoop Jackson and movements to protest forests and salmon. Modern Washington, 1990s to present, Washington became a technology and innovation powerhouse with the rise of Microsoft and Amazon and other major tech firms in the Seattle area. And we all know how Microsoft and Amazon are doing now. The state remains known for its progressive politics, environmental focus, and diverse economy spanning tech, aerospace, agriculture, and global trade. It's also home to vast wilderness, Mount Rainier, Olympic National Park, which is gorgeous, by the way. I haven't been to Washington State yet. I really need to go because that's a gorgeous side of the U.S. And Mount St. Helens, which erupted dramatically in 1980, highlights its geographical dynamism. Today, the population is over 7.8 million. Capital is Olympia. The largest city is Seattle. And Washington remains a leader in sustainability, green energy, and innovation, a blend of rugged and natural beauty and cutting-edge urban development. So, we did a lot of information from the 1700s, well, pre-European and into to modern. Let's go into a little bit about. Let's go back into European exploration because I really want to hit how the state became a state from its border. So European exploration of the Pacific Northwest began in the late 1700s. Spanish explorers such as Bruno de Heceta reached the coast in 1775, followed soon after by the British, including Captain James Cook and George Vancouver, which we said earlier. And then a decade after that, it was 1805. That was the Lewis and Clark expedition. What is fascinating is how quickly the territory became like this explorationary point, and then it became a boom with fur trade. That was the late 1800s, with the Pacific Northwest was a contested region known as this whole area as the Oregon country. And again, it was claimed by both the U.S. and Great Britain. They've been going to the Oregon Trail in the 1840s. And then again, this is the most interesting part about this entire thing is how they established the border. And the border was the 49th parallel. 49th? Was it the 49th? Quick note check. 49th parallel. The 49th parallel was the deciding factor for the border between Washington and Canada. Extremely interesting stuff. We're talking about borders and how they made the borders. Like the most interesting one that I found interesting about Texas was that little area of Oklahoma where it got cut off, and that's why Oklahoma has that small little protruding rectangle on the west side of Oklahoma. You know why? Because of slavery. Because of the territories of where it stood, where slaves were to be free. Texas was like, no, fuck that, and then they lowered the border and gave it to Oklahoma. So yeah, that's why there was that small little section there. So yeah, I have never been to Oklahoma. I mean, not Oklahoma. Talking about Oklahoma, I've never been to Washington State. I really want to go because the history of the indigenous people. I follow a couple of content creators who are indigenous content creators, and they do historical segments. They do like different areas to explore. Like they do book reads and poetry and stuff like that. Washington State is like one of those areas to where like if you were asking the same question in the 1800s, like where would you go find the most concentrated area? It would have been either like the northeast or the northwest, and Washington State is one of those states where I really, really want to go to, and I want to explore, and I want to deep dive into history and the natural beauty. I want to go see Mount Olympia, and the national parks out there, because man, I just want to go. And I'm going to go see a Seattle game. I want to go see a Mariner game. I want to go see a Seahawk game. It's just one of those states where someone like me who traveled a lot during my military days, and it was California and then Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, Texas, and then Louisiana, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. Did I miss one? Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Spent some time in Baltimore. Spent a little time in New Jersey, visiting friends. Hoboken. I love that area. In Missouri, spent some time in Nebraska. I haven't had a chance to go to the northern western part of the United States, and I want to go. One of these days, when I have a full-time job, I'll travel up. To afford to go. I don't know, man. I don't know. Or if I just say fuck it and be a nomad and don't work and homeschool the kids and just find an RV that I can afford and go travel the United States and be a full-time writer, because that's ultimately, man, that would be a dream come true, right? Be a full-time writer and content creator and do this for a living and sell books and sell my stories and sell my poetry and sell content. Yeah. I've lived long enough to where I did enough, 15 years in federal service. I spent 8 years 5 years active, 3 years reserve in the Marines. Isn't it time? Isn't it time to be like, okay, congratulations, you survived all this shit. Go be creative. Go be creative. Like I hear so much about like Sweden and Norway. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that after a certain amount of time that you spent working and you spent paying taxes and you spent, contributing to the economy, and I think you earn, an early retirement. I don't know if it's true. I hope it's true, because that'd be fucking awesome. Like, hey, you made it to 50. Congratulations. You can now do whatever the fuck you want and here's a portion of what you contributed to the economy. Here's a portion of it back. Here's your retirement. Go have fun. Be creative. I don't know if it's true, but that sounds like a fucking heavenly thing to do, wouldn't it? Let's get to the cryptid. This one I chose because it looks gnarly. I cannot fucking pronounce it. I'm sorry for cursing so much today. I think I'm more relaxed today, right? My normal vernacular is coming out. But here we go. Here's the attempt. The Baxbakwalanuxsiwae. The Baxbakwalanuxsiwae. It is a demon-like cryptid creature. Here we go. Indigenous nation in the Pacific Northwest coast of Canada. Here's an overview of this cryptid. The Baxbakwalanuxsiwae. It is translated into the man-eater at the north end of the world. It comes from the Kwakwala language, and variations in spelling occur because of different transcriptions. It is often described as a supernatural cannibal giant who lives deep in the forest or at the edges of the world. It is a powerful spirit associated with winter ceremonial traditions, particularly the Hamatsa, the cannibal dance, one of the most important and sacred of the Kwakwaka ceremonies. And I deeply apologize for butchering the pronunciation, but I'm doing my best. It is a chief of the man-eating spirits, who include other beings like the Bakwas, the wild men of the woods, or the Zunakwa, the wild woman of the woods. During the Hamatsa initiation ceremony, a young initiate is said to be possessed by the Baxbakwalanuxsiwae spirit. The initiate must then be ritually tamed and purified through song, dance, a ritual action symbolizing control over the wild and dangerous forces. Holy shit. The transformation, symbolism. The transition from wildness to civilized human order. The spirit world's untamed and predatory nature, and the ability of the community in ritual to restore balance and harmony. These are the symbolism of this ritual, of this creature. Now, it is depicted with a humanoid creature with multiple mouths, sometimes on his hands, face, and other parts of his body, symbolizing unsustainable hunger and supernatural power. So think of this humanoid, tall, thick, like grotesque creature, humanoid with mouths all over his body. It appears in elaborate masks and carvings. The The masks show his fierce expression in multiple mouths. The Hamasa dancers wear these masks during the winter ceremony, enacting the mythic struggle between the wild cannibal spirits and the community that reclaims the initiate. Incredible. This tradition remains a vital part of the Kwakwaka'wak's cultural heritage and is treated with great respect. This again comes from the Pacific Northwest coast. It is a cannibalistic spirit, lord of man-eating beings. It is the Hamatsa cannibal dance. Symbolizes power, transformation, control over chaos, and is depicted with a humanoid, disgusting. Well, I don't know if it's disgusting because I have seen 2 photos of it, and one is like it looks liquidy, moist body with bunch of mouths on it, and the other one is a normal humanoid creature with 2 eyes. It does have a muscular figure, but also has a bunch of mouths on his body. And it depicts a multiple mouths, fierce features. And that's it. That is today's episode of 50 States of Terror. I am your host, Anthony Diaz, with Washington, and this amazing creature. If you have a chance, you really do have to look it up. I'm gonna spell it real quick because it's worth spelling. Baxbakwalanuxsiwae. And I'm gonna do it one more time. The Baxbakwalanuxsiwae. Fucking awesome, man. I love it. So yeah. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining me on this episode of 50 States of Terror. I do apologize because I did forget to record this episode on Wednesday for a Thursday release. So I'm recording Thursday today for a midnight release Friday. But it just got away from me, man. I'm sorry. I do apologize. But staying consistent is key. So I'm one day late. It's all right. And it's going to go out video soon, but audio definitely will go out tonight at midnight. And here we go. Ziggy's wisdom. Okay. Ziggy's wisdom is we all really need to take a breath. Everybody just needs to take a breath every once in a while. It's okay to slow down. You do not need to go 100 miles an hour all the time. It will start to drain you really fast. So it's okay to slow down. But when you slow down, don't stop. You can't stop. If you do stop and you're unable to get back on track at the pace or even a pace that is you're comfortable with, if you do happen to have that happen, it's important to understand that it's okay to take a break just as long as you do get back on track on whatever it is. Make sure the break is a good break. Get your mind back on track. Get your peace. Get your vitals and get your levels back to where they need to be. Take your mana potion. Take your health potions, read your spells, get back on track. All right? All right. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you all again for getting me over the 1,000 download mark. My next goal is to keep going. You know, that's the natural track of all this is to create, because I like to create, but also to create so that it comes with, not to say that it comes with something, but it can be something that I can also give to other people. Because if money comes in, I can afford to teach others how to do this, or I can support others in different ways, other content creators locally, specifically locally, and have their voices heard. Because that's the point of all of this is to be at a point so I can start teaching others and lifting others, both in production and with monetary help, because that's what we're supposed to do as humans, man. We learn to teach others and to help others, So yeah. All right. Thank you all. Later.